Coffee, runner, PA, makeup.
Hello and welcome to Gamer Radio Zero, show number 35. I'm your host, Mike Lasco, also known as Gamer Zero, and I'd like to welcome you back. Here with me today, and for the next few episodes of GRZ, at least, if she's willing, is Sara Girard, Associate Brand Manager for Dungeons & Dragons at Wizards of the Coast.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Mike.
So Sara got her start with GRZ at Gen Con last year.
That's
She
true.
interviewed Shelley Mazanoble. I wanted to interview Shelley, but Sara just took over and threw me off the set and did the interview, and it came out really well.
It's surprising what a good headlock can do.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Worldwide D&D Game Day is usually in the fall. This year we've rescheduled it to be closer to launch, which is very exciting. It's the day after launch. Everyone's getting really amped up for it, and we have our own event going on in Seattle where all of the WotC staff are going to be there, R&D folks, brand folks, you know, random people who want to come. Open to the public, free, at Numos on Capitol Hill. And that goes from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, June 7th.
So if you're going to help me co-host for GRZ, we need to come up with a nickname for you. Do you have any nicknames or anything?
Yeah, I have many nicknames, but none of them are suitable for public viewing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so can we come up with one?
No, I think Sarah will do just fine.
Can I ask the community for suggestions? Do you really want to go there?
Yeah, no, we'll see what comes out of that.
I've seen you in your martial arts work, and that really scares me. So I was afraid that if I did something wrong, you might do some moves which she's done before, and it's not pretty.
That's true.
So what
I can be pretty scary.
What martial you do? Kickboxing. You do what else do you do?
I started Muay Thai kickboxing about 11 years ago, and I've done that off and on. And I've also studied Krav Maga, which is Israeli contact combat, for 7 or 8 years now, off and on. You know, I had a couple kids in between there, so yeah, I could
Well,
hurt you. That's true. I wouldn't.
Go good.
But I could.
All right, good. As long as you won't. Right. And there's also this roller derby thing. What's this all about?
Yep. I coach a roller derby team on the Rat City Roller Girls.
The Rat City Roller Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. My team is called the Throttle Rockets.
The Throttle Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty good. And you're the coach.
I am the coach.
And you're out there just coaching them, and they're crashing into each other, and people are getting knocked over.
It's very strategic, very violent, very fun.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun sport. Y'all should come out and see it.
So yeah, so they, we'll need to come out and see that sometime. You know, I'll just stay in the back.
I know. I keep inviting you, but you never show up.
No,
Whatever.
It's.
Who wants to see all those single girls in one place? I mean, seriously.
Quiet. Well, awesome. So you have a interview today, and why don't you tell us who you had come out and what we're going to be seeing?
Yeah, I spoke to Darrell Dunning from Uncle's Games in Bellevue today, and he is very enthusiastic about 4th edition. He was a playtester. He was very excited to talk about his experiences so far with 4th edition and their plans for launch, which sound very exciting, and our plans for game day.
Excellent. All right. Well, why don't we get right to that?
Great.
And after that, we'll come back and talk a little bit more and see what your plans are for next week.
Perfect. We are here with Darrell Dunning from Uncle's Games in Bellevue, Washington. Hi, Darrell. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. What was your impression when you first heard about 4th edition coming out?
Well, at first I was a little surprised that this new edition was coming out. But at the same time, I was like, okay, well, let's see what it has to offer. It has a number of different things, as I'm sure everyone well knows, just from spoilers on the website and just Drag Magazine, Dungeon Magazine, just other previews here and there. I really like it. I like how the mechanics are, how the crunch is, and just how it plays, how it feels. It feels very cinematic and very epic.
Well, you actually have play tested, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one of our play testers.
I've been fortunate enough to play test it for a little while, so it's kind of interesting to see the evolution of the game. It has changed from early on play testing to what it is today.
And you've read through Keep on the Shadowfell?
I have, and I plan to run it this Saturday, actually, at Uncle's Games. So for those of you listening to this, if it's out in time, who knows, show up.
So now that you've read through Keep on the Shadowfell, are you feeling more comfortable with being able to DM? Do you want to talk about your ideas for how you're going to run it this weekend?
Now that I've read through it, I really like, there's a number of really good points. I like the adventure hooks. I think they're a really good idea. It's an easy way to get characters involved. I had actually discussed part of it with another person that I know how to run it, Robert. He had already run it, and he'd kind of gone over some of his ideas, and I might implement a few of them since what he did is he kind of had the adventure hooks passed out to all the player characters, and then have them decide how they want to interact in the adventure and what their goals were.
So I've actually played through the whole adventure. We're at
yeah?
sort of the last segment right now. There are some interesting twists to it. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the surprises you encountered?
Well, I don't know if I want to spoil too much, but some of my favorite things were just some of the encounters. There was an encounter with a goblin, Irontooth, who he's kind of like, you think, oh, goblin, I'll go ahead and hit him once, he'll die, that kind of thing. Not the case. I think he's got like 106 hit points.
Yeah.
He can, if you do half his hit points, he becomes an effect called bloodied, and then therefore he's got blood crazy, where he just does all kinds of crazy damage and surprises the
And you never know what's going to pop out at you, right? When someone's
absolutely.
bloody, there's all sorts of different effects that can take
Yes,
place.
and even minions kind of surprise people because they're one-hit bad guys where you can kill them, but then there's a bunch of other creatures that aren't minions as well, so you can kind of have the wave effect. You can have creatures move in, but then have another wave of creatures.
What I found was surprising in playing Keep on the Shadowfell was you'd walk into a room and you are just completely surrounded by creatures. Like, they could be minions. Most of them are minions.
Sure.
But, I mean, you've got 20 or 25 of them jumping on you, and you can take some serious damage from one hit point minions, which is pretty scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to, okay, is the big fighter or the defender going to ignore them, or is he going to close in on the big opponents?
Yeah.
I found that defenders is one of my favorite classes just in general because of your whole ability to control the battlefield. You move in, you mark your target, you make sure that your blasters or your mages stay back and kind of do their thing. So
Do you play a defender?
absolutely.
So
yeah.
do I.
I played a defender, so I got used to the role early on. One time when we were playtesting, we kind of had two defenders for a little while, and that is, you really can kind of set up a big iron just defense. You can really fortify the lines really well.
We have two defenders in our campaign.
Oh, nice.
We're both Dragonborn, so we're both like,
wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
No, I played a human defender, but yeah, Dragonborn. I was just reading over the pre-generated characters again. Yeah, they're pretty solid.
They really are.
The extra healing surges.
Some of the racial things are pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about? Keep on the Shadowfell, or your plans for game day? What are your plans for launch?
For launch. Actually, for launch, we're gonna do a release event. We're gonna do like a midnight release event. So it's technically going to be the 6th. So we're gonna have people come into the store, get all the crazy hoopla.
Great.
Just have people buy stuff, and then of course the regular release day, and then on the 7th we're gonna run games all day for it, just to see what people think, get as much reaction as we can. And that's the whole idea for Shadowfell. We want people that are kind of on the fence for the new edition to look at it and say, okay, this is what it's like, just to kind of give them a sample without having to buy it, and then decide for themselves if they want it. I like it a lot because I've always played kind of a high fantasy cinematic gameplay, just in general. I've always been about, okay, having the fighter do some crazy maneuver and having people get very descriptive in what they're doing. Just because an ability is called like a brutal strike, what does that look like in your game,
Yeah, we incorporate sound effects in ours as well.
Oh, nice.
We're the same kind of group.
That's awesome. It's all about the role playing and
Right.
just getting involved. As involved as you can get, the more fun it is for everybody. So I'll probably role play some monsters and all kinds of stuff on game day. It's just more fun. You don't want it just to be like you're playing a computer game like Diablo and you're like, I did 3 points of damage. You want it to be you hit and what actually happened to your character.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming to talk to us. We appreciate
thank you.
it.
I appreciate it.
We'll come back again sometime, I hope.
Hopefully.
Great.
Well, that was excellent. You can tell he's a little enthusiastic about 4th edition, and we really appreciate him coming out and popping into the studio to talk about stuff.
I'm really grateful that the community is willing to come in and share their thoughts with us. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and it's nice to see kind of the retail outlets, being excited and doing stuff, because there's always, they're always a little nervous about changes, but it seems like they're really kind of embracing that, so that's pretty fun.
That's true.
So what do we have coming up on GRZ for the next couple weeks?
Well, our plans for the near future are to be filming and interviewing at Seattle Game Day. We have, like I said, most of the R&D staff will be there, and a lot of the other WotC staff members, and we'll see how the players are enjoying themselves and experiencing 4th edition.
And so you'll be doing some interviews too? You're not just going to make me do it?
We'll see about that.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
If I bribe you?
Maybe.
I'll let you try some Krav Maga moves.
I don't think that's the best way to interview someone, but we'll
Okay.
see how that works.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have a nickname by next show?
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you have coming on?
Forgot his name.
Great.
Darrell.
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 Darrell. Darrell.